Hi, Brother Sean.
Great afternoon, and we are officially, as they say, are live. Ladies and gentlemen, great afternoon and blessed morning. I'm sorry, afternoon as well on this Monday. This is your host here, Sean A. White, for another installment here of Transformation Greatness, along with the Small Business Network podcast. And today, during this fine afternoon, we have here two very special guests. And it is an honor and a privilege to be surrounded by greatness and royalty. These individuals are a prime example of what it means to be relentless. We have here the founder and creator of Relentless Forest himself, the one and only brother Randall Gilbert, along with the heart and soul, the rock of Relentless Forest, the Mrs. Gilbert herself. But before
Mhm.
we go ahead and get into this, guys, because we're going to have an opportunity to get to know more about the Gilberts, also how Relentless Forest came about, and also get to learn some great information, which I believe can serve everyone at a large. Do us a favor, if you will. If you're catching us on the live, put in hashtag live in the comments, guys. Let us know exactly where you're tuning in from, and also feel free to interact and engage with us as well. This is how we get better as far as with the feedback. And if you should be having to catch this on a replay because of the fact you got other commitments, we understand it's the middle of the day, a lot of stuff going on, etc., then put in hashtag replay and go ahead and do the same thing. So, guys, if you want to know a little bit more about me, basically, I'm just an average person, founder and creator of Transformation Greatness, where we motivate, encourage, and inspire the masses. And of course, with that, triple fold, speaker, coach, hypnotherapist practitioner, radio and TV personality. The list goes on. But it's not about me. It's not about me. Enough about me. Let's jump into our very special guest here because since I have known Brother Randall, I have seen that he have been elevating and just really just taking it to another level, right? Just really understanding his calling and his mission and just not allowing the outside noise or from what the naysayers have going on. And he's the prime example of what being relentless is all about. And then on top of that, he has with him on his left hand side the rock, the one that puts it all together, and that is Mrs. Gilbert. And she's going to come with her own areas of expertise, which, if I were you, I would get a notebook, a pen, and write this down. But more importantly, take action. So, with no further ado, we have here Mr. and Mrs. Randall Gilbert hailing all the way from Virginia. And
Yes.
welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the show.
All right. Thank you, Brother Sean.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Glad to be here.
I don't know about you just being average. Not sure about that. I don't know that I can say amen to that, Brother Sean. I think I'm gonna go with you're in the greatness arena. So
Yeah. So
Thank
yeah,
you. I definitely do appreciate it. Definitely do appreciate that. So let's go ahead and jump into this thing here. So if you guys can just, introduce yourselves, just tell the listener audience a little bit about who you are and what you do, and then let's dive in more deeper because I really want the audience to get to know a little bit more about you in detail. So whoever want to start it off.
well, greetings. As it's been so stated, I am Randall Gilbert, and I am the face of Relentless Father's Army. Relentless Father's Army. It is something that the good Lord placed on my heart to do because of not having my biological father in my life and the struggles that I went through, the mistakes that I made, and I didn't want other fathers who did not have their father in their life, who should have been taught things at a very, very early age. I did not want them to go through life thinking that they could not turn it around. And believe you me, you can turn it around. It takes work, it takes a commitment, and it takes a dedication. And men in our lives who are going to partner up with us to hold us accountable and to hold us until we're strong enough to hold ourselves. It can be turned around, but you have to come, as I said, with the items of a hard hat, a pick, and a shovel, because we've got work to do.
Right on. Mrs. Gilbert?
Amen. Hey, Brother Sean. So, a little bit about my background. I am a retired auditor. I work for the state of Michigan Department of Treasury, and I was in and out of businesses, and I've had experience with business owners as well as the CPAs and accountants that represent them. And I have aptitude for getting to the bottom of things. You know, as an auditor, we're all about the numbers, right? So my area, if you will, one of them is in the area of finance. And so I do have experience teaching at the college level. And I've taught on two different kind of skill sets. One is, you know, accounting and finance and things along that name, auditing. And then the other is medical billing and coding, which is also an area that takes a lot of detailed work. So what Randall and I are working on now as it relates to the upcoming economic summit, he's going to do his Relentless Fathers. He's going to reach out and link arms with hopefully men and brothers so that we can have that area of our life strengthened, right? Men will be challenged and strengthened and encouraged and empowered. And that's what my husband does. On the financial side, I want to shed a little light on what's really going on. And what I mean by that is we're playing a money game, believe it or not. And in our demographic and some others, we don't know the rules. So we're losing the game. So there are rules and strategies that are in place that are working against us. You know, at the top of the list, of course, is something called compound interest. It's working against us because we have debt, a lot of us, and the way that it works is it compounds and it's working against you. They call it the eighth wonder of the world, but it's not wonderful to those of us on the other side of it.
Right.
So that's the strategy. And we can see that strategy being played out as early as when our children head off to college. The first thing that begins to happen is that they get all of these offers, credit card offers, with the buy now, pay later mentality.
Correct.
But they don't get the truth of what it really means that you are literally going to pay later in a very big way. And they make it very easy for them to get into debt, but not easy to get out. And then they make it, once you're enslaved in that way, the strategies that you have to invoke to get out, you know, there's really nobody telling you how to do that because the whole system wants to keep you in, wants to keep you in bondage, wants to keep you enslaved. And so if you guys think back to when we used to play Monopoly, now I'm way back in the day, when you used to play Monopoly, the object of the game, if you didn't understand the object of the game, you would just think that all we have to do is go around this board, right? And maybe get to where you can pass go, collect $200, but you want to avoid the light company and electric company, right? And all of that. Well, that's not the object of the game. The object of the game is to get property and put houses and hotels on that property so that when people pass by, they can pay you. So instead of having our objective correct, instead of looking at how we can acquire property or how we can be in ownership positions, we're playing the game like we're in survival mode. We're just trying to get to go the next time. Trying to get around it. But it doesn't help you to get around there because you're landing on everything that's going to cost you on your way trying to get to go because you didn't know that the rules of engagement were that you need to be acquiring income producing assets. And that's not just real estate, it's income producing assets. And so because we don't know the rules of engagement, we're losing the game on a very large scale. So that's one of the things that we're going to talk about when we talk about, you know, they would call it in times past financial literacy. And it's a very broad term, but it's a relevant term, but nobody wants to hear that because the opposite is being illiterate and nobody wants to think of themselves as illiterate, but we are. Because we don't know the rules of engagement. So we're at a disadvantage. So I was talking to Brother Sean briefly before we started, and we talked about the student loan arena. And we talked about how people have in a quest to become educated and position themselves supposedly for a better employment opportunity. Now you have this debt called student loans. And this debt is now, they were on pause for COVID, right? So now some new language has come out. But a lot of people, the payments are restarting. And they don't know that they can use programs to keep their payments on pause for a minute. But even back in the day when they had them, even, pre-COVID and during COVID, they were on payment pause. But there's relief available now through the federal government as it relates to student loans. But if you don't know the rules of engagement, if you don't know that relief is available called forgiveness, then you won't pursue it. And if you don't pursue it, then you're going to end up enslaved in something that could have been relief for you. You could have experienced the student loan relief. So there's public service loan forgiveness, which a lot of people are positioned for, depending on where they work. And then there's the income payment count that they're doing now towards forgiveness, where a lot more people can experience forgiveness just based on the length of their loan. And then there are other things that are, these new provisions include where you can consolidate your loans. Now, not all loans can be consolidated and not everyone should consolidate, but there are times when people should consolidate their loans. So what consolidation does is it allows you to take all of your loans and almost backdate them back to the date of your oldest loan, and you get forgiveness for all, you get credit for all of that payment history so that you reach forgiveness faster. And then that's like all your loans. So now instead of, you have this date, this date, this date, this date, this year, this year, this year, now they all get dated back to the oldest one. And then except for a few statuses, because you got to look at the statuses for your loan so that you can know which part of this status can apply and count towards my forgiveness and which part doesn't. So it's a lot going on, right? And there are some deadlines coming up. April 30th is one having to do with consolidation. And then September 30th is another one. So we need to know what's available. We need to talk about it with our neighbors and our cousins and the people on the parenting groups and whatever. We need to be letting each other know that there's information that's available now that really could help you. And you don't want to miss these windows. These are windows of opportunity, basically where you can be free. So go ahead, my brother.
First of all, that was fantastic. And I am in total agreement with you in the sense that there is information out there in which wisdom in this particular instance is in fact powerful. I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because we live in an age which information is out there, technology, is at an all-time high. Sister Gilbert, why do you feel with so much information that's being vastly out there, within we can literally grab it with our fingertips, but
Mm-hmm.
yet us as a community, as a minority, is still not taking full advantage of that? I'm very curious to know your responses on that, you and Bro Gilbert. And then we'll definitely jump more into the equal justice summit and different things like that. But I want us to stay here for a bit because what you said, it's very important. And
Mm-hmm.
it's something that affects us even generations down. So please go a little bit more deeper.
Okay. So my answer would be twofold. One is we don't know what we don't know. So
Okay.
how can I ask you a question about student loan forgiveness if I don't understand that there's a thing called student loan forgiveness? How can I ask you about that? Or maybe I've gotten a letter from a loan servicer and I don't even understand that it's a loan servicer, right? And it's just a servicer. The real site is studentaid.gov, but I don't know that because I don't know anything. So I don't know enough to ask you how to help me.
That makes sense. Okay.
Right. So that's part of it. The other part is distraction. And what I mean by that is we are overwhelmed with survival. We are overwhelmed with the day-to-day. Student loans is just one of many things that are plaguing us. So we're in overwhelm, so we're working a full-time job, mom and dad working a full-time job, and then somebody is, Ubering and somebody else is, doing the other thing, they might be using their car for Turo or whatever. We're doing these things because we're in survival mode. We're trying to make ends meet. And so when you're in survival mode, it's all about how am I going to keep the lights on and how am I going to put food on the table, and student loans and anything else is taking a back burner because I'm in survival mode.
Right.
And so, and that to me, that's the two-part answer. I don't know what I don't know, so I don't feel that I can even ask intelligent questions. And secondly, I'm too overwhelmed kind of to deal with any of it.
But doesn't that counteract the quote unquote the American dream?
Yeah, it does. But the American dream is not just one-dimensional. The American dream, well, what was sold to us as the American dream, maybe I should phrase it in that way.
Okay.
Where you're going to work 40 years and you're going to have a pension. Spoiler alert, pensions are over, right? I'm sorry to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And I got another spoiler alert that nobody probably even knows about or wants to know. But did you know that they've now changed the tax code and the tax law, and where we used to get tax refunds every year? You remember that, how people would use tax refunds and they would buy a car or they buy some furniture? The tax code has changed all of that. Your W-4 withholding is now designed to break you even. It is not designed so you can have a refund.
Wow.
All of these people thinking, I'm going to file my taxes. And oh my God, I have a bill. I thought I was going to have a refund like I used to have. But all those credits that were being available to people during COVID and a little bit post-COVID, those things are gone now.
So now
where the rubber meets the road on the financial tip.
So now you have more people owing the state and owing federal than as opposed they were getting those certain amounts each and every single year that they can bank on. Interesting.
Yes, it's interesting and it's sad. And the state is more aggressive in pursuing those debts than the federal is. You can make arrangements with the federal government, the state government, just like they're not having it. You're going to pay me, you're going to pay me now. So people are at a disadvantage. So the information that travels within our circles is not the kind of information that really makes us better financially. And of course, we have an answer to that. But what we've traditionally seen that comes through our, we are sold entertainment, right? And financial planners. How many people do you know, Sean, that have a financial planner? People in our demographic don't usually have a financial planner. And the question is, why is that? We're the wage earners, right? We're the W-2 employees. Why don't we have a financial planner? Well, there are reasons for that. The financial planners is for the people that have money.
Correct.
And there's no intention for us, the wage earners, to really have money. That's really not the game. So we have to learn more. We have to know more so that we can, do more. And we have to learn better so we can do better. And so what we have is that we'll be talking about when we get to the summit is the Mastering Student Loans Project and the Mastering Inflation Project. And I don't have the links for those right now, but they can, if somebody wants to know, they can reach out to you and you can, send them to me. I'm willing to talk to them about that. And then we have a free student loan review that's available. And then our Mastering Inflation program is going to cover everything having to do with finances and personal finances and all the things that we miss out on because we're so overwhelmed in the day-to-day. And it's a very easy project that we put together so that every household that's willing to do the work and willing to take this on as a movement, and the movement is enough. It's the time out, flag on the play, enough, right? So when we pool our resources together and we come together to learn about finances and new money moves and how to do things better and how to do things more efficiently when it comes to our money, then we all win. So the Mastering Inflation movement is to say we have figured out how we can empower every household with an additional $2,000 in income so that they can begin to win. Now, that is not free. You got to do the work. But can you imagine throughout thousands and hundreds of thousands of wage earners if we raise the income level of all of those households by $2,000 a month? Would that be incredible?
That would make a huge difference and a shift in a lot of households. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But the key, of course, is not just getting more resources, it's knowing what to do with them.
Correct.
What do I
100%.
do first? What do I do next? And then we've been consumerized, we've been turned into people that all we do is buy. We buy, we buy, we buy. And we live at our means, meaning
Mm-hmm.
that even though my income goes up, I now start consuming at that level. And I
Correct.
get another 3% raise next year and I start consuming at that level. So
Correct.
we got to break that addiction to spending, that addiction to always living at the top of our means. And we got to get back to the basics. If we go back to grandma and granddaddy, grandma always had a little jar with some money in it,
Yep.
but we don't have one,
Mm.
and we're always trying to do things different from my grandparents. Well, why don't we repeat some of the things that they did? They always had a stash.
Correct.
So we got to get back to basics, and we've got to come together and pool our resources and pool our intellect and pool our commonalities so that we can win, because collectively we're losing. Now, there are some of us that are doing okay. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying collectively as an income group, wage earners at large, we're losing. And now we're working a job, then you're working a job and a half, and then you're working 2 jobs. And when you're working 2 jobs, mom and dad, who's watching the kids? Who's doing the homework? Who's involved with the children, right? So they're left on their own because why? We're in survival mode. But there's a way to change that. And so that's the movement. That's what we're talking about doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to Transformation Greatness along with the Small Business Network podcast. And you just heard some tremendous wisdom and golden nuggets from the Gilberts, from Mrs. Gilbert. And I tell you, listen, if you think this is good, definitely come to the Equal Justice Summit. You're going to learn so much. She's going to give you a complete breakdown as far as with financial literacy and so many other goodies. And I see her personally doing this worldwide, right? And Brother Randall, you got competition, so you need to step up, my brother, because if she's on fire right here, oh baby, imagine being in an arena with 50 to 100,000 people. What are you going to do, sir? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Well, sir, I am so thankful that you did see me here. This is the role that when you become passionate about something,
That's right.
when you become passionate about something, it
right.
it becomes a part of you. And
That's right.
my as you know, my passion are fathers. And a lot of the things that I do is because of this little lady sitting to your left, my right. She really has helped me to become the businessman, the speaker, the stand focused. And I think a lot of times, if I may piggyback on just a little bit of what she said,
sure, absolutely.
In order to do something that you've never done before, there has to be a commitment to getting better. There has to be a focus. 24 hours, that's all we get in one day. And we have to find out in those times that we call our time, we've got to sacrifice some of that to learn what we need to learn to get better. So we can turn this around, but it's going to take effort. Just like Sharon said, it's going to take work. And when we make up in our mind that we're going to work, a lot of the people that have been walking with us and talking with us, once we get the idea that we want to have things better, we will have to sometimes leave these people behind. And I promise you, when you make that decision, all of a sudden people who are going your way will line up with you to help you walk into that destiny or to accomplish that goal that you set out to do. So it is a passion of hers. Fathers are a passion of mine. And together, we just know that when you make the decision, when you make the commitment, don't go in looking and asking the question, how long will it take? Just understand 1% better each and every day. And I got that from Dr. Della Toro. Get 1% better each and every day. You're moving forward. you're moving forward.
Absolutely.
So that's and I'm looking forward to get down to the Equal Justice Summit, and I want people to understand how quickly things can turn around for you. Be committed to what you're doing. If you're going to get better, you want to be better, you want to do things greater, you want to be that father, be committed to it, and you'll find yourself in places that you had no idea that you would be in. Had no idea. A month and a half ago, Brother Sean and I we really were not talking about the Equal Justice Summit. And out of nowhere, he introduced me to the CEO of the NAB conference, the team, and here it is now. I'm a part of this organization, and we are very, very excited. Do the very best you can. Do the very best to find your gift. And as the word says, the Bible says, your gift will make room for you. Just work on yourself and get better.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just want to acknowledge a few that decided to come on. We have here Brother LaRon Barnes in the house. So welcome, welcome. Founder and creator of the Balance Entrepreneur. That young man is doing extraordinary and great stuff. We have here First Lady Tammy McCorvey, and she stated, because I'm reading the comments here on my phone, that she's so excited about the summit. We have him, a business partner from the Small Business Network, Dr. James McConnell in the house. So welcome, welcome. And guys, we thank you once again for coming on to Transformation Greatness along with the Small Business Network podcast. We have here Mr. and Mrs. Gilbert, a powerhouse couple. And I tell you, if you ever heard of Ebony and Ivory, right? If you they are two individuals that, just listening to them, and if you haven't had a chance to watch this from the beginning, please do so, because Sister Gilbert, she has a skill set which is very unique but yet very needed in the community, in terms of with the financial literacy, in terms of empowerment, information pertaining to student loans, etc. She is definitely an expert in her lane. And if you know Randall Gilbert, a speaker just like me, an inspiring gentleman, and he's the founder and creator of Relentless Barbers. And both of them will be at the Equal Justice Summit the first weekend of March, March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, 2024, in the King Center in beautiful downtown Atlanta. And I highly encourage you guys, because we are about a couple weeks away. Please come on, support, come get this beautiful knowledge, because it's going to be workshops here, range anywhere from financial literacy to youth empowerment by myself and Sister Unique Gordon. We're going to have workshops on human rights, environmental rights, social and criminal reform, and there's many other workshops from very influential people. I highly encourage you to come check this out. I will be dropping the website in the comment section. Please go register. Bring the whole family out, bring the whole community out. Trust me, I can tell you, you don't want to miss it. I don't, I, it amazes me and I want to bring you guys back into the fold. It amazes me how, when people look at events, especially for us as a community, a minor community, we look at it as just, oh, it's just an event. Oh, it's same old information that they're talking about in this city, in that city, in that state, in that state. Or you will hear instances of, oh, I can't commit, right? I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I got this going on, I got that going on. And this is just in general as far as for entrepreneurships, and it really speaks to the mindset of the individual. I want you guys really to talk about the mindset and with human nature, because we are, although we are wired and shaped to have self-preservation, and what I mean by that, it's all about survival, as you mentioned, Mrs. Gilbert. It's all about, in the end, for self, right? It's all about that survival mode, just trying to get by. But it's another thing, and this is why those that's truly at the top of their games, they're celebrated, is because they made that mindset shift and said it's not about me, but it's about we. And
Yes.
it's about how can I be of service based upon what the gifts and tools that have been given to me by my higher power. So I want you guys to really go ahead and speak to that and really try to tie it all together with everything that you guys are doing and what the National Association of Black Defenders is doing. Try to tie that all together if you can.
Do 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 I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do I go first? Okay. All right.
Sure.
Uh, I, that mindset, that is so critical, because the mindset that most of us do acquire or have is one from the environment in which we come up in. If we come from an environment that where we see people, as we talked about earlier, we go to our jobs, we come home, we go to our jobs, we come home, but we never really talk about stretching ourselves to take it to the next level. And if you're going to break out of that paradigm, you have to make the effort. And it is an effort to say that to myself, I can do better. I can make things better for my children. I can make things better for my family. But as I said before, we only get 24 hours in a day, only 24 hours. And we have to become strategic in setting the time up. How are we going to use that time when we're not at the job, when we're not at the PTOs, at games supporting our children? When we have that quiet time, are you willing to sacrifice a little bit of sleep? Are you willing to sacrifice a little bit of television? All of these things come into play in making that change from where you are now to getting to that next level. And I often tell fathers, didn't have a father in my life. I hear that. I know what that is all about. But when we take a vision, when we take that vision, I take the fathers, okay, go all the way to the very end. You're having that very beautiful kind outing with the family at the picnic ground, people laughing, the kids are, just enjoying themselves. And you and mom are there having a great time as well. I said, take that vision, bring it all the way back to the starting line. Bring that vision back with you to the starting line. And when you make the step, that first step over the starting line to begin this marathon, you already have victory, because it is that vision that you have with you that's going to continue to give you your strength that you need. The Bible said we do perish for lack of vision. And that vision is what gives us the strength to go on when we want to throw in the towel, when we want to try to convince ourselves that we don't have what we need. We may not have the education, and as you alluded to, we may not have the money. But I'm telling you, it is just so amazing when we, especially as those that are walking with Christ, we so casually say how good he is. We can say that in a heartbeat. But do we truly believe? Because when we get in these situations that, Lord, I need directions, ask him and believe that he will give you the answer. And he will. He gave me my answer. He brought men into my life that lifted me up and carried me until I was able to carry myself. And this is what he says to us. Don't just say, I don't ever want you to hear, I just want to get back to where I was. Mm-hmm. If you've lost some stuff, I just want to get back to where I was. God said, no, I'm pulling you back. So when I release you, you go beyond where you were before. That's the mindset that we have to have if we're going to be that great entrepreneur, if we're going to be that great business leader, if we're going to be that great father or mother. We've got to have that mindset that I can do great things, but I truly do have to believe that I can do so.
Love it. Love it. Sister Gilbert, come on now. Come get some.
All right, then. Thank you, sir. As my husband said, it really is about how we think. And I will acknowledge it's very hard to go on a mission by yourself. It's hard to stand out and be the lighthouse standing there by yourself. And even when Moses was leading the people, and the Bible tells us about that, and he got tired, and then there were people that came alongside to hold up his arms. And that's what we have to be in these days and times. We have to link arms. We have to have partnerships, and they don't have to be partnerships like a legal agreement partnership. We just need to be of the same mind. And back in the Bible days again, the Lord saw the people, they were trying to build this tower in the heaven, right? And the Lord said, behold, the people are one. And now there's nothing that they've imagined that they can't do. And so when we come together, there's strength in numbers, right? There's power in unity. And so when I talk about mastering inflation, it's for all of us. Everybody doesn't need extra money per month per se. Not everybody across the board. But there are some people that need to be putting money away for their retirement. They're getting closer, right? There are other people that maybe they need to offset the student loan payment that they now have to make. So there are reasons why we can link arms around mastering inflation and figure out how to do this thing as a movement and do it better, and how together we can achieve more than we can alone. When I think that I'm the only one struggling financially, and I think it's only happening to me, and I'm the only one that's having a hard time, it's very isolating and it's demotivating, and you feel powerless. But when I can look around a room and say, oh, you too? Oh, you got student loans too? Oh my goodness. Oh, you've got an aging parent that you got to care for now too? Oh, I'm not alone. Together we can do this. And like Jesus said, as a man thinking at heart, so is he. If I believe with all my heart, soul, mind, and strength that God will answer me if I call him, because that's what Psalm 91 says, right? Because you set your love upon him. When he calls upon me, I will answer him. And so God has sent us an answer. And it's in the mastering inflation, and it's in mastering student loans. And so there are answers right now for people everywhere. And they just need to connect with the right people that are able to give them the information and provide those answers. And then together, we link arms, we pool resources, we get our incomes together, and now we all become better. But we will not ever achieve that divided. And so the key is unity. And so when we go to the economic summit, the empowerment for NAB, National Association of Black Defenders, this is about us coming together to do what we cannot do alone.
Correct.
Strength in numbers, power in unity. That's what we have to know. And it can happen for us financially as well.
Correct.
And I'm looking forward to being a part of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, to another episode here, a very special episode, if you will, of Transformation Greatness along with the Small Business Network podcast. We have here our very special guests here, Mr. and Mrs. Gilbert. So far, since they've been on here, they have been dropping it like it's hot. I'm trying to tell you, if you're not taking notes, if you're not putting down on what they are, conveying, then shame on you. I understand it's the afternoon, but I know plenty of people that's going to watch the replay, they're going to get true value out of this.
Yes.
And just like you guys mentioned, the Equal Justice Summit is just the foundation. It's really going to set a precedent on things moving forward in 2024. And this is why I truly believe in this term, collaboration over competition. And
Yes.
I really have gotten that idea. And I remember this when I seen Bob Proctor, God rest his soul, when he was partnering up with like people such as Les Brown and John Assaraf, and Lisa Nichols. And what they were basically doing is that they were helping each other because they realized, yes, we can do it alone. We already have teams, we already have organizations, but
Yes.
wouldn't it be even more cool to bring it back to its original essence? And what I mean by that is by collaborating, exchanging ideas. So now when you're infusing both their audiences together, now the audience is getting the benefit, right, of
Yes.
learning from someone else and learning different aspects and learning different types of information to where now they are inspired by it, they are motivated, they are empowered. So what happens as human beings when we are empowered and inspired, guess what? We love to show our appreciation by
Yeah.
something which is paper, I believe is green, and
Yes.
we use
The
that
pictures on it.
for right for exchange of products and services. That thing is called money. So what am I saying, folks, here, right? What I'm saying is this is that what we're doing right now by us collaborating here on this podcast, by us telling you about the Equal Justice Summit, by Mr. and Mrs. Gilbert telling you about their areas of expertise on why they're so passionate and driven and relentless on a day-to-day basis of what they have going on, they
Mhm.
know and understand that by us collaborating, it's going to create what is known as the win-win-win scenario.
Yes.
Somebody maybe listen to this and be like, Sean, what the heck are you talking about a win-win-win scenario? Well, I'm glad you asked. The win is that for you as an audience member, you are listening, you're gaining valuable information, right? For us, we are basically collaborating because we're exchanging ideas and we're working towards a common good. And then the other win scenario is that everybody excuse me, everybody is going to benefit. And at some point, it will be monetarily gained out at. That's the win-win-win versus, you know what? I'm Randall. I got really as far as going on. I really don't need, the equal justice summit. Yeah, that's cool, but I'm doing my own thing. Or with Sister Gilbert, like, yeah, that's cool. I would, stand behind my man, but I got enough experience and I can do it this way. And it's
Mhm.
just all about me, the I. You
Yes.
get
Yeah.
me? So in order for us for a community to really be able to take this information and really be empowered and do something with it, we have to get the I out of the situation. And I get it, guys. Trust me, I get it. You got bills, you got, kids, you got a whole bunch of stuff going on. We're in the age of distraction. I am not naive. Trust me, the
Yeah.
same stuff that be hitting your news feeds and your social media handles, it hits mine as well. But the difference between myself, the Gilberts, Dr. James, Reverend Michael McCorby, First Lady Tammy, the National Association of Black Defenders Incorporated, and many other organizations and individuals that are like us is that it is a mindset shift. We
Yeah.
stay focused, we stay relentless, and we know the assignment on what we're supposed to be doing. And we don't allow for anything else to pretty much derail us because trust me,
Mhm.
every day that you are alive, it's going to be distractions. The enemy is going to come against you because he realizes and understands your true purpose and what you're supposed to be doing. And he realizes that if you're truly locked and loaded on what God has in store for you, man, he is so terrified by that. It literally trembles fear. That's why the enemy uses all different types of distractions to bump you off, such
Yes.
as with student loans, such as with oof, I don't know. I'm gonna say it anyway, but I already know I'm gonna get flack on this. Child support, right? Poverty, not having access to information. All these different things is it forms the distraction, and
Yeah.
so now, just like you mentioned earlier, Sister Gilbert, now what happens that becomes so much of an overload,
Yeah.
right? That people now say well, I would love to be a part of that. I would love to access that information. I would love to. I mean, it's just beautiful, but I'm so distracted. I got so much going on. The
Yeah.
enemy loves to hear that, by the way, guys.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
loves that because now you're falling under universal law. Because guess what? What you focus your attention on, which is a true fact, what you give the most emotion to, right? The most attention,
Yes.
it has to come back and it has to give you more of that. Why? Because it's universal law. God
Mhm.
cannot, if you are always in that poverty survival mode, And if you're
Yes.
not willing to change your mindset, it is virtually impossible for God to say, okay, well, since you're in survival mode all the time, it's impossible for him to truly bless you because predominantly you're always going to be in that survival mode, even if he gives you a blessing, even if he gives you an increase of finances or
Yes.
relationships or health, whatever the case, you're so much in that survival mode that it's going to dominate that blessing. And from there, you're going to focus more so on that anyway. So he's going to say, okay, I just give you more of what you want, right? Just what
Yeah.
you ask. And
Yes.
I'm saying that from experience because you're speaking to someone that was truly like that, guys. I was
Mm.
truly was one of those that was in survival mode, truly always doubting, right? I was the king of self sabotage. I mean, please, ain't nobody had to do it. I did it
You did it
myself,
yourself. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Until I had to understand the mindset shift, and I had to do a shift on that, which I have done at 180, praise God. But
Praise
I'm
him.
still a work in progress. I'm still a work in
Yes.
progress because I'm human. So I said all that to say this, guys. Basically, 2024 is that year. I said
Yep.
this many times before, and I'll keep saying it until the cows come home. 2024 is that year. However, you have to be strategic and you want to align yourself with individuals such as ourselves that have a mission, have a vision, that are relentless. I love that, Brother Randall, relentless, right?
Relentless.
And you have to be that way in order to make 2024 the best year of not only your life, but your family's life, your community's life, and
Yes.
etc. And etc. This
Yes.
just goes on, on. But it starts
Yes.
with you. It starts by coming out to the Equal Justice Summit, March 1st through the 3rd,
Yes.
2024. Yours truly will be there. The Gilberts will be there, and many, many others. Come out, have fun, network, get empowered, get inspired. But most importantly, take action.
Yes.
Don't come just because and say, "Oh, it was a great event. It was a great summit. I met a lot of great people." In the words of Brother Randall, I shook hands and kissed babies, and now
Right.
I go home to my respective place, and I'm hyped for one day, and then afterwards I just go back into that vicious cycle. No, 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 no. Come with an intention to the event. You know what my intention is, guys. If I can share this,
Go ahead.
my intention is to be empowered, to be inspired. My intention is that God is going to do something in that event, in that building, with the people that's going to come, with the parents, with the youth that's going to come. And there's going to be a major radical shift to when people go back to their respective places. They're going to be on fire. It's going to be opportunities like radio stations and speaking engagements and other conferences that we're going to be invited to and other organizations going to want to be a part of what we have going on because they see the mission. I see as far as for Reverend McCory and First Lady, they're being bombarded with calls because of the fact that it was just a tremendous turnabout and everybody will be attracted to what we have going on. And this is going to grow and get bigger and better and better and better
Yes.
and
Man.
better and better. That's what I see.
Man.
Nobody can tell me anything different. I don't want to hear anything such as, well, but this is going to happen and that's going to happen. Guess what? As long as you're living this thing called life, there's always going to be opposition. There's always going to be
Yes.
challenges, but that's
Yes.
what makes this life beautiful. Don't run from the challenge, embrace the challenge and
And
hit it
grow.
head
Yes.
on,
Yes.
head on.
Absolutely.
Wow. Wow. I mean, I would like to thank the audience for coming to Randall's podcast and we interviewed my brother Sean. That brother is on fire, you all. I mean, but this is what happens. This is what happens when you make a decision that I am not going to stay dormant. I am not going to just go from day to day, just existing. When you get that fire up under you, it's supposed to be just like what you guys have witnessed here. This is the host. This is the host. Now, if the host can get this fired up, people, get your tickets.
Yes.
Bring just bring anybody you can else you can with you. We believe that Atlanta, Georgia, the King Center will never be the same. It'll never be the same because we're coming with a mission, and that is, as my brother so eloquently stated, we're going to inspire, we're going to encourage, we're going to empower.
Yes.
Because we truly do know, we truly have experienced it, that you can make a change when that mindset is focused on, I'm going to be better and I am going to do it regardless of whatever I have to go through.
That's right. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, for those that just tuning in, welcome here to Transformation Greatness along with the Small Business Network podcast. We have here the Gilberts in the house. They are also executive board members with the National Association of Black Entrepreneurs Incorporated. So if you don't know what the heck I just said, I actually just put in the website. Please familiarize yourself with the website. Just don't browse. I mean, don't just just go through it quickly. Really take a look at it. It has fantastic work, and I can tell you, if you're looking to be a part of an organization truly that is with God-fearing people, that is really what's the word I'm looking for? That's really I would say on fire
Mhm.
for the mission and the calling, then this is the organization. And I want for others to really get that, because as entrepreneurs, as anyone that's doing anything, I totally get it, right? You want to focus on your brand, you want to focus on what you're doing, and I get that. That's human nature. I totally get that. What we're conveying here is that when you collaborate with the right people that share the same heart and vision as you, and that has a passion for serving, beautiful things come out of that. When you come to the summit, you will be empowered, you'll be inspired, you'll be motivated, you will have that information. And really, what it will do, it will really set you up on a road that, quite frankly, will blow your mind away. There are opportunities for everyone, but I I implore you guys once again to come to the summit. You will absolutely love it. If you cannot make it, then we are accepting donations. So show your support. Share this information, right? We're looking for sponsors. We're looking for vendors, right? So by you, even if you can't make it, but you're sharing it out, guess what? You are doing your part, and that is recognized, right, by God Himself, and He will award you for that because you are doing His work. I don't want for individuals to think, well, I'm in a low poverty area, or I don't have it like that. I'm just trying to make ends meet. No, because now you're focusing back on me again, on self again. When you take yourself out of the equation, even you know what, that's gonna be another topic for another day, because I can speak so much on that. But the
Yeah.
point is, guys, this is gonna be absolutely amazing. I don't want to oversell this,
Mhm.
because I don't want people to think, oh yeah, he's just trying to sell something. No, I'm trying to sell the mindset that you are more than what that you think you are. I am more than what I think I am. The Gilberts are more than what they think they are. Why? Because God has said so. Case
Amen.
in point. So now is the time. This is 2024, guys. A lot of things is going on in the world. And for you that have gifts and talents, in which all of us do, but more importantly, for those that are not afraid to step into that thing and really be able to provide a level of service based upon your gifts and talents. Like Brother Randall said, your gifts will make room for you.
Yeah.
That's not just a cliche, that is absolute fact. That is
Yes.
absolute fact, but you gotta get in the game, guys. You gotta get in the game. And I see you rocking back and forth, bro, Randall. So come on in, man. Come on in, man. Come on in, brother.
Yes,
I see you. Come on in.
yes, yes, sir. Again, I've enjoyed this time with you, brother, and having my wife sit along beside me. I also, if guys want to, you know, see a little bit of the brother I get to before I get to Atlanta, uh, I'm having an event
Yes, sir.
this Thursday. February
Yep.
22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern
Yep.
Standard Time. It's a Zoom event. You can reach out. You can go and register through relentlessfathersarmy.com/fathers dash relentless slash relentless dash fathers dash live. relentlessfathers.com/relentless dash fathers slash dash live. I'm sorry, brother got me so fired up here, but it will be. I can put it in the chat, but
Yeah, put it in the comment section, please. So continue, but then also I want to hear from Sister Gilbert as well. So continue.
Yes, just come on out. Just come on out. We're gonna put it in the chat there for you. Or you can reach me at also at relentlessfathersarmy@gmail.com. relentlessfathersarmy@gmail.com. You can reach out to me that way, and I can send you all the information. Excuse me for stepping all over myself, but Brother Sean got us fired up on this side over here.
Yeah, as long as you put that in the comment section, so that way people in the audience can definitely access that. So while Sister Gilbert is speaking, I guess if you want to put that in the comment section.
We're looking for the comments now. So you wanted me to tell you more about what we were doing, what we're gonna do?
Yeah, actually, yeah, definitely do that, because I forgot with this. After we're done, then you can put that in the comment section. So my apologies.
Oh, it's after it closes out. Okay.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So I just thank you for the opportunity. And like you said, believe it or not, I haven't been pursuing this passion of mine. And as you see, I have a little bit to say, and I really haven't been out there. So I'm excited because 2024 is that time. It's time to shake off the shackles. It's time to link arms. It's time to partner up. And what Mastering Inflation has are challenge partners. So we challenge each other throughout the series of new money moves, right? And so it's a lot of things that we do that are habits, and they're not good habits, right? So spending all that you have is not a good habit. We just do it because we're used to doing it, right? This is what we do. We get paid, we spend. So what if you don't? What would happen if for 1 week you stop spending? What a challenge. Look at what you would save. Yep. Don't buy that Starbucks. Not because you don't deserve it, but because you can say no to your own self. Put that $7 in a coffee mug and see what you'll have when you don't go to Burger King, and you don't go to Wendy's, and you don't go to Starbucks, and you don't go to Target. Look at what you would have. And we are empowered to make change, right? Change is the one constant we should all welcome in our life. So,
absolutely.
The Mastering Inflation program is about challenges. It's challenging one another to be better. And then we have challenge partners where people will walk it out with you. Because I'm not used to saying no to myself. I'm going to be honest.
That's right.
I like me. I think me should have what me want, right?
That's right. Right. Right.
Now we're on a quest to be better overall. We're on a quest to stop with the paycheck to paycheck, always being one paycheck from disaster. How do we come out of that? How do we get past that? Well, it'll be hard to do it by yourself. Can it be done? Sure, but it's harder to do it by yourself. It's much easier when you do it as a movement, when we do it all together. When all of us together say enough. When all of us together say, I'll never be broke another day in my life.
That's right.
Now let's do the work and make it happen. So right. I'm really, really, really looking forward to that. And this is what we get when we come together, when we link arms, when we say, I care about you. So am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Mm-hmm. Yes, I absolutely am. Mm-hmm. It's what my husband is doing with Relentless Fathers. Is he his brother's keeper? Yes. Tell these men that it's not too late. right? His slogan is Relentless Father's Army, right? Winning back your children's heart and becoming their hero. I think that is fabulous. I'm so proud of my baby. So,
That's
right,
powerful.
you
That's
know,
powerful.
win back your children's heart and become their hero.
That's
And
powerful.
so when we do that, when we say, yes, you can, and they say, but I messed up, we say, yes, but God gives all of us every single day a new beginning.
That's
His
right.
mercies are new every morning.
That's
And
right.
so, can we turn it around? Absolutely. Yes, we can.
That's
Together,
right.
we can. Yes.
That's right. That's powerful. That's powerful. Ladies and gentlemen, for all those that's tuning in, welcome for another very special edition of Transformation Greatness, along with the Small Business Network podcast. We have here the Gilberts, and I tell you what, this has been, in my opinion, one of the better episodes. And I actually had done a lot of episodes, had a lot of great special guests, and with no disrespect to them, because they all have brought tremendous value. But in my opinion, if I had to rate this podcast episode, it would definitely be in my top five. And so this has been an honor and a privilege. And for all those, if you're tuning in and if you would love to be a guest as far as on the show, by all means, please feel free to send me out a DM, and we can definitely talk about as far as how to go ahead and make that happen. Also, this upcoming Thursday, just like what the Gilberts mentioned, Relentless Fathers definitely be there this Thursday at 7. You said 7:30?
7 p.m.
Oh, I'm sorry, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be on, because I would definitely love to support Rubber Randall, and guys,
Thank
this is
you.
going to be fantastic. Fathers, even if you're not a father, by all means, you should be on this call. 7 p.m. That's a good time. No excuses, Kings. Come on now, let's go ahead and make it happen now. Right?
Right.
No excuses. So
Make it
before we go ahead and wrap this up, because I know you guys are extremely busy, I know you got a lot of people that you have to connect with. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on board and really just providing that information, right, and really being a beacon of light. It is so much appreciated.
Thank
I
you.
want to do something with you guys, and I think, bro, Randy, I think you know where I'm going with this. So I like to play devil's advocate. I like to play devil's advocate. I really, really do. So here's how it goes, Sister Randall. I'm sorry, Sister Gilbert. There are individuals that's been watching this live or want to catch this on a replay, and they're going to say, wow, this is informational. This is like very powerful. They're going to share it out, tell their friends, their cousins, their dogs, whatever, right? They're really going to love this, right? But then there's going to be others, right? That's going to say, well, that sounds good, and I appreciate that, guys, but you don't understand. I got a lot going on. I may be in the middle of a divorce, or I got creditors on my back all the time. The kids. I got small kids. I got so much going on. I'm so distracted. I don't even have time for myself, right? And I like something like this. I like to be a part of this. I love what you have with the financial literacy. I mean, Sister Gilbert, it's great. It's amazing. Brother Randall, you're doing great work as far as with the men and the relentless fathers. And I dig that, right? But I just got so much going on. And maybe give me about 3 months or 6 months, right? Let me get, quote unquote, everything in order, right? And then when I have all that stuff together, then maybe I will come and have a conversation with you guys. I know you get individuals like that a lot that come to you like that. So for 5 minutes, and I'm going to do a solo spotlight so that way you guys will have the floor. If you have individuals that will come knocking on your door and they're sitting down with you guys and now are giving you that type of energy for 5 minutes, look in front of that camera, what would you say to either him, her, or they as a couple? The floor is yours.
Thank you, sir, and welcome to my home. If you were sitting here with me right now, I would just ask you to stop and think about if you've been struggling, if you've been telling yourself all of these years of what you cannot do, and you've been in the company of gentlemen or women, family members who have been also piling on you, telling you what you cannot do. And the reason they don't want to see you step out and take on a challenge is because you make them look at themselves. That's why it's so very, very important to really make up in your own mind. Don't worry about the friends that you may lose along the way. Please don't. I take it from me. Those friends that don't call you, those friends that don't want to encourage you, that's okay. God already has it already planned out for you for new people to come your way, to new people, for new people to step into your life and to give you things that you thought you could only get from people that you've always been around. Change the way that you see things, change the way that you look at things, and the things around you will change. They must change because I give you my keys, I may get them back. I give you a suit or something, anything that I can give you, I may get it back. But the only thing that we can't get back is time. So, and you say you may wait 2 or 3 months before you can see yourself there. We don't know how much time we have left. Just take the responsibility that you have made up in your mind that I am going to change the way that I do things. Because when you look at those precious gifts, children that we've been blessed with, that should be all the motivation in the world that you need to make a change so that we can stop these generational curses where we have been absent, where fathers have not been involved in their children's lives. We can stop a lot of this generational curse if we make up in our mind that we are going to be the one where it says it starts with me. And when we start it, believe you me, it will affect generations to come.
Yes. And to that, it does start with each and every one of us. You have to do your part. Now, if you see yourself putting this off for 2 or 3 months, I am not the kind of person that say, "Oh no, you can do it today." You got to stop everything and you got to get on this train today. Because, like the great Les Brown has said, a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. And we're not trying to drag anyone into a promised land. You have to go willingly. You have to say, today is the first day of the rest of my life. And I'm going to make the most of this day. And starting this day, with God as my help and the author of every new beginning that I can ever hope to have, then I can take action today that will begin to change all of my tomorrows. And so, for those of you that want to wait or feel like you just can't take action right now, I'm a mom, I'm a grandmother, and a great grandmother. I understand overwhelm. I know when you can't take on not one more thing. I understand. But don't cut yourself off and don't sell yourself short. Stay engaged for the transformation. Keep watching the StreamYards. Keep tuning in to Brother Sean and other people that can encourage you. Watch my husband on the Relentless Father's Army and stay motivated until you reach that place. And hopefully it'll be soon, where you can shed some of the distractions and step into your new beginning. And when you do that, whenever that is, hopefully sooner rather than later, we'll be right here to partner with you and hold your hand and walk you through. And we'll all win together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, when this gift of being able to do podcasts and be able to speak and be able to bring people on board was first introduced from my higher power and given to me, part of the benefit of doing this is that not only do I get to motivate, encourage, and inspire others, but also too, as being a forever student, I get to sit back and just marvel at just the brilliance and the greatness, from other individuals. And that's what I truly believe transformation greatness is all about. Because I was just sitting back and just listening, and boy, I even got like even inspired, and I got motivated, and I got encouraged. And that's what it's all about, folks. This is what we've been saying during this whole hour and close to 10 minutes, right? With all the information, with all the wisdom, with all the value, with all the nuggets that has been shared. It's all about really helping that one person. And you guys have heard me say this countless times, and you'll hear it during the ending. And this is a true statement. If I or if we can help this one person, at least
Yes.
one person, to make
Yes.
God be the glory, and we take no credit for absolutely none of it. And that is a
Yes.
true statement. When you're able to help just one person, and you never know who that can be, believe me when I tell you from experience, from what I know, not from what I read or not from what I
Mhm.
heard from other people, from what I know, when you help one person, that one person would then tell one person and tell another person and then tell
Yeah.
another person. And before you know it, it creates a snowball effect. And
Yeah.
that's why it's very imperative, and I'm going to say this again, that if you have gifts and talents, the time is now. As they just articulately demonstrated here from both of their sides, the time is now.
Yes.
Really make it happen. Move by faith and courage and understand that your higher power, he got you, but you gotta have that faith. And you
Yeah.
gotta be relentless and you gotta be
Yes.
willing to have the courage. If you're not willing to do so, no one can help you. And I'm telling you
Mhm.
that from experience again.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
with that family, I think that unless the Gilberts have anything else to add,
Mm.
I think this concludes another fantastic episode. Well, by the way, do you guys have anything else to add?
I don't. I'm good.
Thank you. That's all I can say. Just thank
Thank you
you
so much.
for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Keep in mind before we end this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Relentless Fathers is going to be coming to your airwaves. It's going to be on Zoom. I will be there. Will you be there? The
Mhm.
comments, I'm sorry, the link is going to be in the comment section.
Yeah.
Kings, come on out, show up. Listen, come out, men. Bring your sons, bring your nephews, bring your cousins, bring
Yes.
your male dogs, your male cats, your male
Yeah.
parakeets, whatever the case.
Right.
But I,
All the fathers.
yeah, Brent, come on now, Kings. Let's show up now. Let's
Mhm.
show up and really show out because when we do, amazing things happen.
Mhm.
So,
All
with
right.
that, folks, this concludes another fantastic episode of Transformation Greatness along with the Small Business Network podcast. I'm your host here, Sean A. White. Want to thank our very special guests here, Mr. and Mrs. Gilbert. They are doing phenomenal work for the kingdom. And be on the lookout. You're going to be seeing their wonderful faces a whole lot more as they're going to be, just setting the bar and making it higher and higher and higher.
We receive that.
Amen.
We
Thank you.
So,
receive.
absolutely. So with that, we're going to end this episode like we do all of our others here. And if we were able to motivate, encourage, and inspire at least one person, to make God be the glory, and we take no credit for absolutely none of it. Until then, you're all amazing. Enjoy the rest of this glorious Monday. By His grace and mercy, look forward to seeing you all on the next
Peace.
episode.
All right, Sean. Bye bye.
Peace and love, everyone.
All right.